Good evening, everybody. Welcome to my first look at Stellaris. This is going to be like setting it up because I just made an account, so really I've done nothing. So let's pop on over and see what we can get set up tonight. One second here to turn this down. All right, that's that. Stop that. Okay. So let me turn the volume back up. I have this turned down. There we go. Got some music going. Okay, so why do I sound really loud in my headphones? I don't know why. Let me just turn myself down. Okay. Take a look at some settings. Set on borderless window full screen. I think that's good. Allows me access to stuff on the side. Using 3 monitors, so I think we'll leave it at that. My computer seems to be okay with it so far. It's not even hitting 3%. Resolution desktop. I guess that's just whatever I'm playing on. Multi-sample level. Is there a way to get info on what this is? Multi-sample level. I guess this is like hover. There we go. I'm not used to playing PC game. Currently playing Dark Souls 3 as my main game. I just wanted to kind of get this set up since I don't really know how long I'm going to be on. Not getting a lot of sleep lately because of reasons. Multi-sampling smooths jagged edges during rendering. A higher value will produce a better result at the cost of performance. Set this to 0 if running on older hardware to improve performance. What can it go up to? Oh, it's 0, 8, or 4. I don't know. Let's just see how it runs. I'm running on a 1070. Let me look at what the recommended hardware requirements are. Really didn't bother to look that up. An i5 3570. I'm running an i7 6700, I think. Got plenty of RAM. GTX 560 Ti. I'm running a 1070. Windows 10, 64-bit, yeah. Okay, let's just try and bump everything up. That's high. Lens flare. We'll try it. UI scaling. That I don't know. We might just let that go. Hyperlane opacity. Determines the opacity of hyperlanes on the galaxy map. A lower setting will make hyperlanes more transparent. Well, I guess we'll find out what that is. I have 0 experience. I have not seen anyone play this. This is as much as I've seen. Whatever you're seeing is what I'm seeing for the first time. Literally just made an account before I hit go live. like to live dangerously. I'll fix this as we go. Gameplay. Autosave semi-annually. Autosave to cloud. I'm gonna let this go for now. If something's weird as I'm playing, I'll check this out. Messages. Oh boy. This seems like more stuff that I don't want to touch because I don't know what it is exactly. Accessibility? I don't think. Mouse side button mode. Control the behavior of the side buttons on the mouse. Note that not all mice have side buttons. I am aware of that. I do have side buttons. Text to speech off. Okay, that's good. Multiplayers. Oh, this must be the new stuff. I just got an update for this. I just installed that. I think we're okay here. I'll leave that. We got this all maxed out. Refresh rate. I guess we'll just leave, that'll be matched with whatever this is. I forget. I think it's pretty high. Whatever it can handle, I don't know. It's like in the 160s or 70s. Restart required. You must restart the game for these changes to take effect. Okay. So, does that mean I have to exit? Guess so. I don't really know. I have one new item in my inventory for Steam. Wow. Already. Right. I'm starting the game back up. Just leave this. Play. Okay, got the splash screen. It's loading. All right. It's good. I still don't know why I sound so loud. I typically have my volume up here. I don't know. Maybe it's normal. I don't know. It's a headphone thing. It's not a capture thing. When I'm playing Dark Souls 3, I'm actually capturing my PS5. This is obviously on my PC. Okay, so I see they have the co-op multiplayer. We're just going to go ahead and start a new game, I guess. United Nations of Earth. I don't know if that music is too loud or not. I'm just looking around, seeing what all this stuff is. Dolores Mwanga. Female. Okay. Representative democracy. Democratic. Holds an election every 10 years to select a new ruler. What? I think... Can I get to my settings from here? I want to turn the music down a bit. I have no idea how to do that. Is it S? That didn't work. Can I move this? No. Oh wow, what's all this? This is all DLC? Well, I'll just keep going, I guess. I'm just gonna try and turn the music down a bit. Beacon of Liberty. Idealistic Foundation. Okay, let's... Wherever there's a pop-up, we gotta read it. Representative democracy. This government is a representative democracy where citizens vote on officials who are elected to represent them. We were looking at this. Empire effects. Faction approval. 10%. Resets government reform and policy cooldowns when a new ruler is elected. Ruler. Empire effects per skill level. Faction unity bonus plus 2%. Edicts fund plus 5. Democratic governments have regular elections where all citizens can vote on who should represent them. Okay. What is this? Beacon of Liberty. This society is a shining beacon of light in a sea of darkness. Liberty and individual freedoms are held in the highest regard here. Affects monthly unity plus 15%. Empire size from pops negative 15%. Yeah, I honestly have no idea what's going on here. This is going to be... It's going to take a while to get rolling here, but I'm not planning on rushing this game. This is going to be a game that I can kind of play whenever. Hey, what's going on, Rav? You got this? Please. Take notes. Let me know if you understand something. If you don't, I probably don't understand either. Okay, good. Me either. Xenophile. Increased opinion for other species. Cannot use no refugees. Species policy. Cannot enslave entire species. Oh man, really? Well, there goes all the fun. Cannot displace aliens. Empire modifier. You know, I'm probably just going to end up running this like the Federation because we've been watching Star Trek every night for weeks. So it's just like in my brain. Scratching that itch, trying to catch up on the newer series that we did not finish. So we're halfway through the last season of Discovery, which got really crazy. And then we're probably gonna watch Picard, even though I didn't really like the first season. I mean, I watched all of Voyager. If I can watch all of Voyager, I can watch anything. I've seen Enterprise Next Generation original series DS9 so many times. Empire modifier, trade value plus 10%. Available envoys plus 1. External leader pool size plus 1. You heard negative things about Picard? Yeah. I'm just happy that there's still Star Trek going on. Strange New Worlds, ended up being really solid. I can't wait for that next season, which I think comes out maybe next month. Unfortunately, it seems like Discovery is only going to go for 5 seasons, and the new season is not coming out until next year. The last season is, over a half a year away, because the 4th season is already completely out. And now we've got strikes going on. Every time I get interested in a show, we got writer strikes. The loud vehicles are out tonight, so if you hear weird stuff going on, it's probably traffic in front of my house. It's been going on all day. There exists in all of us a deep-seated fascination for the unknown. An adventurous spirit that rejects the familiar and glories in the unfamiliar, whatever or whomever it may be. Some business people are suggesting they dismantle their service since they're losing money. Their service. I'm watching on Paramount Plus. Is that what you mean? Like the streaming service? Because it's part of CBS Productions. So when I first saw it, it was like through like the CBS website or whatever. But now the Paramount streaming service sucks, honestly. The app is awful. If you try and skip, it allows you to skip the recap and the intro. It always messes up and it gets stuck in like this endless loop. You just have to let everything play out. And it's like that with every show. It's not just Discovery. It happens all the time. I clear the cache like every time I fire it up. It's a terrible app. Sometimes it's stuttering. I've got like a gig down. It's not like I can't handle the download. I don't know. Definitely the app. Fanatic Egalitarian. Must have democratic government form allows utopian living standards. Okay, I'm wondering if that might have to do with the DLC, because I know a lot of people have said the Utopia or Utopian DLC. I'm not sure what it is. Is it over here? Planetoids, Leviathans, Utopia. I do not own this DLC. I've been told and read that this is like the DLC to have. And then some of these story packs are supposed to be good. Like Megacorp. What else? Maybe Federations. I think Nemesis gets a lot of negative feedback, but I'm not sure why. Are you going to do a corrupt playthrough if possible? Probably not. Probably not. I don't usually go that direction. Like when I play Fallout, it's usually I'm the good guy. Like if every time I start out and I want to be bad boy, be tough guy, I'm not. I'm too nice. I can't even pretend to do it. So much for this being a realistic type game. That's what I said. Like it's probably going to be more like I'm going to be looking at it from the view of like the Federation in Star Trek, because that's the only type of space empire kind of stuff I'm really familiar with. I know nothing about Star Wars. Battlestar Galactica, huge fan of that. Honestly, I gotta say, like, when I finished, like, Battlestar Galactica, I don't mean I never saw the original. I mean, like, the reboot with, like, Edward James Olmos. I almost liked it more than Star Trek. It was more realistic in a way, I felt. And the ending was just like, whoa. Totally blew me away because I never saw it. I didn't spoil it at all. So Battlestar Galactica is awesome. If you have not seen it, I highly recommend Battlestar Galactica. But so my main goal is I just want to poke around in the game, try and get somewhat familiar with it. But I need a game that I can fall back on, say, when I beat a game and it's a weird time, like, say it's like a half an hour into a stream or an hour in, and I planned on streaming for a while. I'm like, all right, I'll just cut it and I'll come back and we'll just do more Stellaris. If I do like day streams coming up when my daughter starts school or like when they go on vacation, I'll probably do Stellaris just so I can save my hands for Dark Souls and the upcoming Elden Ring. So it's going to be in parallel with the other games I'm playing. You know a little about Star Wars when it comes to the lore. I thought you were big on Star Wars. So if anybody misses this stream, as long as like whatever I select here doesn't have like long-lasting ramifications, then, you know, I guess it's fine. Because I said in Discord, like I made a Stellaris channel just so we can talk about it in there, because I know Sarandon and Cheese have experience with this game. So, but I said, like, I'm going in completely blind, and I'm going to stumble my way through. Oh, I just noticed. This is crazy. This is probably going to be like the whole stream. I just noticed over here on the left side, I have to choose, I guess, who I want to be. Wow, this is a lot of reading. So they're humanoids, adaptive, habitability +10. This species is highly adaptive when it comes to foreign environments. They're nomadic, population growth from immigration +15, resettlement cost of -25%. The species has a nomadic past, and its members often think nothing of relocating to another world. I feel like I'm really competing with this music. Do I have to go back to the menu? Oh, I can go back. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. The music volume. Around there, I think. It's a little better. Right, we didn't pick anything yet. Wasteful. Pop consumer goods upkeep +10%. Members of this species seemingly have no concept of frugality and are prone to useless consumption. Oh yeah, well, I believe that. Continental world. So there's Earth. It would be of Earth, mammalian ships. That would be our ship, I guess. The style. At least one style. I would assume that there's lots of ships to choose from eventually. Prosperous unification. Through its strife and triumphs, the society has reached every young civilization's ambition. A homeworld with unified goals and a path open to the stars. The effects. Start the game with an additional 4 pops and with an additional 2 districts. We've got a bunch of stuff to read here. Oh, they have recommended DLC. Humanoid species, Utopia, and Federations. That focuses on diplomacy, finer control of your empire, enables the buildings of mega structures. Adds further variety to humanoid portraits and ship models. Ooh, nice. Too bad, like these DLC are like $20 a piece. And then the species packs are like less than 10. They're like $8. So the game's like 40. I got it for free. But so you buy the base game at 40, and then they're like, oh, well, spend another $40, $50. So you're, for base game and a couple DLCs, you're at like almost $100. And that's just these 3. These are all DLC. It's nuts. There's so much DLC. You can buy like a huge starting pack for like $200. Hey, Sarandon. Yeah, I'm just taking a look at Stellaris. I'm not really I probably won't get to much gameplay, but I had to set up an account, which I did literally like right before I hit start streaming. I was like, oh, I can't just play the game. I've got to log in and all this stuff. So it was kind of like last minute, because I have not been getting a lot of sleep. So I figured I could probably handle looking at this a little bit more than having to play Dark Souls 3. I'm hoping I get some sleep. Maybe I can go back to Dark Souls 3 tomorrow if I'm on. I kind of like having no schedule, you know? I know it's not great for repeat customers, but I'm not too concerned about that. I have to figure out what to do about the music. When I start the game up, it's playing, the music's playing on my starting soon scene, even though I have the game captured on the modern scene. So I had to turn the master volume down until I jumped into the game. I don't know. I've got to think. I'm not used to playing a PC game. I've been capturing consoles for a while. Prosperous unification. So literally missed nothing if you're just popping in now. I'm just reading through. I'm probably just going to read through these. I don't know that I'm going to be comfortable choosing an alien race. I typically gravitate toward things I'm familiar with, at least at first. So, and just looking over here, Commonwealth of Man is a military dictatorship. I highly doubt I'm going to go that way. So there's a pretty good chance I'm probably going to go United Nations of Earth, because it sounds the most like the Federation. And man, I would give almost anything for that to be a reality and actually be on a starship in the Federation. I mean, like IRL. If I could pick something to do. You can also create a custom race. That seems like it would be good for maybe a second or third playthrough. I'm gonna, if none of the defaults sound interesting, yeah, we'll find out. I mean, I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm just kind of gonna go through these and see what I can find. I mean, wasteful is the only negative I'm seeing. Nomadic, though, it says resettlement cost is negative 25%. So that's kind of weird that they're nomadic, but resettling is negative 25, because you would think like resettling is normal, but it's green. So I don't know if negative 25% if that's good or bad, you know? I'm sure I'll figure it out as I go. Prosperous unification. The myriad human nations that constitute their interstellar government are desperate, yet united in purpose. These bipedal mammalians have developed a society that encourages and even thrives on individual freedoms and cultural differences. As a result, humans tend to integrate well with alien populations. Despite this, they have strong martial traditions produced by millennia of intermittent warfare on their homeworld. Yeah, sounds familiar. And their sometimes aggressive and unpredictable nature should not be underestimated. Green is usually a good thing. That's what I thought. I'm looking at it, and it makes more sense that resettlement cost is actually a negative percentage because they are nomads. So it seems like that would be in their favor. This is my first time ever seeing any of this, so I'll figure it out. See, that's red. They're wasteful, so plus 10% on goods upkeep because they're wasteful. Got it. All right, so that is the United Nations of Earth. And that's Dolores. Dolores Mwanga. But it doesn't tell me who that is. Can't click. What is this? I don't want... Can I click on... What if I click on it? Does that... Nothing. Okay. All right. I see you can edit. I'm not going to. Even though I'm not going to choose some of these, most likely, I'm still going to read through them. I want to be familiar with them. I'm looking forward to being a bit more relaxed while gaming. Playing the Souls and even retro is rarely relaxing. Sometimes it can be. Like just after a boss fight, learning a new area, it's a little bit more calming, but having to jump right into a boss fight every stream, it's kind of wearing me down. That the month off was kind of good in that way. And of course I fired up OBS and it wants to update, and I was like, no, not tonight. Not gonna do it. Wait, you can choose a race? You'd go alien, spice things up. Yeah, that's what I'm doing now. I'm reading through. And I said earlier, it's hard for me to go out of my comfort zone when it comes to a new game, and like you're saying, be an alien. I don't know. That's gonna be hard. That's gonna be hard to do for me. So we've got United Nations of Earth, Commonwealth of Man, their military dictatorship, also humanoid. So even though they're humanoid, I don't really see myself wanting to run a military dictatorship. Now we got to get into the alien names. Zin? I would say Zin. Zin Empire? Star Empire. And they're reptilian. You want that full Star Trek human immersion? Yeah, kinda. I know it's not Star Trek. I know it's not. I kind of wish it was, but I don't want to, honestly, I don't want to play the Star Trek games because none of them look good to me. Like, they don't look fun. Maybe someday we'll play Star Trek The Next Generation on Genesis. I used to have that as a kid, and I could never figure it out. And Star Trek on NES, I have no clue. I've tried that game many times, and I could look up, the instruction manual, I suppose, but I've never played a Star Trek game. I used to have, like I said, I'm a big fan of Star Trek. I can't quote episodes. I'm not super nerdy like that. I've seen the series many, many times, most of them multiple times, but when I was younger, and I had one of my first computers with a CD-ROM drive, I had the Enterprise D interactive technical manual. So you'd pop it in, and it was like you were accessing the ship's computer. It had all the sounds from the show. The menus were all the menus from the Enterprise D from the Next Generation. And it was just information. It was not a game. It was just reading information about the ship. And it was, yeah, I loved it. And I had some books too. I don't know what happened to them, but I had some like technical, like physical, technical manual books as well, with like ship diagrams and stuff. The cutaways, man, I'm a sucker for a cutaway picture. I think I used to have a big poster up in my room of Enterprise D, and it had sections of the ship cut away. You could see like all the decks and stuff. Love that stuff. I've always loved taking things apart to see what makes them work, but also those types of drawings are so impressive on a technical level, to be able to draw not just like the outside of the ship, but everything inside, like the quarters, and yeah, so much detail. Good stuff. If I could make a custom character in this game, what Star Trek character would I make? That's a good question. Because as I'm watching some of the newer series, I'm finding I like a lot of the newer characters. I can't say that's true about Voyager. I hated almost every character in that show. You think Picard? You know, I like Picard, but I don't honestly feel like he's my favorite. I've always been a fan of the engineers. I really like Geordi, and it's probably because I really like LeVar Burton. So I think if I would want to be involved in a ship, it would probably be in engineering. I don't want to be navigation, like piloting and stuff like that. I mean, Data's a fascinating character, but science/engineering. Big fan of Spock. I like Stamets and Discovery. I don't even know who the engineer was in Voyager. Honestly, couldn't tell you. Yeah, so I think maybe Geordi LaForge type. They're the most impressive to me. I like the sciencey stuff, not so much the fighting stuff. It's cool too, but you know, the ships were originally supposed to be ships of exploration. Yeah, they can fight, but most of the Star Trek series it's not a series about war. It happens. It's more about exploration, which is what I really enjoy about games, is exploring. So I hope I get some satisfaction out of that in this game. We're still going to read this. But I'm not going to choose Commonwealth of Man. This even looks like Mirror Universe insignia. They're totally from the Mirror Universe. So they've got Prime, Mirror, military dictatorship. This is a Sydney Beauclair. Female. Human. Military dictatorship. This government is a militaristic form of autocracy, with the ruler serving as the undisputed head of the military, which is firmly in control of the state apparatus. And also want to point out to people that happen to be tuning in, I do not play strategy games. This is completely out of my element. I'm a bit scared about jumping into something like this. I'm not afraid of failing because it's a game and I could just, either fix it or start over. But it's different when you're by yourself playing a game and it's new versus having people watching you under a microscope, which, after over a year of streaming, that really doesn't bother me. I mean, I play Dark Souls in front of people and I'm awful at it and I still enjoy it. So I hope that all this information is already overwhelming, but I'm just going to roll with it because I do have tutorial. I have like full tutorial on, so I'm hoping that is enough. Dictatorial. Holds an election upon ruler death to select a new ruler. Okay, that sounds less than ideal. Enjoy your shower. Ruler. Empire. Effects per skill level. Pop amenities usage -2%. Edicts fund +10. Dictatorial governments are ruled by a single individual for life that wields absolute control over the state. See, now from a gameplay perspective, that sounds ideal, but on a personal level, it's not really who I am. I'm also not an RPG player. So the fact that I have all these options are really pushing me farther and farther out of my comfort zone. Like even though it's a human, it's a military dictatorship, and I'm like, I don't know about that. So first playthrough, first attempt, I'm probably going to stick with United Nations of Earth. It's probably fine. There may be things wrong with it, but I don't really want to get into editing things that I don't understand. Let's just get familiar with the basics and just see what the game has to offer to start out. I don't even notice when this game came out, but I don't think it's that new, considering the requirements for it are not that high. Yeah, dictator rule for life. So it does sound like mirror universe kind of stuff. People are always trying to kill the emperor or whatever. Constantly. Like, your life is always in danger. Nationalistic zeal. A strong sense of nationalistic pride permeates all layers of this society. Effects. War, exhaustion, gain a -20%, and claim influence cost of -15%. Distinguished Admiralty. The fleet of the Admiralty have unusually prominent roles in this society, wielding a great deal of influence in political circles. They have the pick of their litter when it comes to new military recruits. Effects. Admirals in general start at level 3. Ship fire rate +10%. Fleet command limit +10%. Admiral experience gain +20%. Whatever you say, game. Xenophobe. We read that, I believe, in here, right? Yeah. Oh, xenophile. This is xenophobe. My bad. A xenophobe can purge aliens. and we can enslave aliens. Decreased opinion for other species. Cannot give aliens full citizenship. Cannot allow aliens full military service. Cannot use refugees. Welcome. Species policy. So what? This is supposed to be the South? Empire modifier. Starbase influence cost -20%. Pop growth speed +10%. External leader pool size -1. The stakes could not be higher as we reach into the vast uncharted expanses of the galaxy, for we are gambling with the very survival of our species. Never trust the alien. Its false smile hides an unknowable mind. Fanatic militarist. Can use the no retreat war doctrine. Empire modifier. Claim influence cost -20%. Ship fire rate +20%. The ability to project force, is of paramount importance. The only way to preserve our way of life is to make sure everyone shares it, willingly or not. All right, I'm gonna grab a sip because I'm gonna do a lot of talking. We have a visitor. Of the cat race. Hello, Doodle. Got a little boop there. What's going on, girl? She's been waking me up every day for like 3 days now because my little one has been coming in looking for mom in the morning, and she's either not there or in the shower, and she leaves, and I swear she just leaves the door open. And then these guys come in, and they know they're not supposed to be in there, so they just start yelling in the bedroom. Oh, that was a good bump. It's hard to do this camera work. I don't know where are you going? Nope, don't look at that. All right, are you done? Are you done? Can you be done? I'm learning here. I'm trying to learn. Is that good? You good? Okay, you gonna plop for us? What are you doing? Since when do you come up? Oh, I think we're gonna get a plop now. No? No plop? Where are you? It's hard. Got camera in one hand, trying to pet you with the other. Oh yeah? She's watching closely. I wish my lighting was better. I don't really have any, honestly. I turned my phone flashlight on. Sorry. Just trying to... Got my phone flashlight. I'm not shining it in her eyes. It's just bouncing off my desk. But... Yep. Okay. I don't know why she's not laying down tonight. Lay down, girl. Lay down. Maybe. She's being super pesty. Okay. I don't know where she's going now, but we'll just call that good. We'll just call that good. Hey, Mr. Merv, what's going on? All right. I think she just went back to her bed. Mr. Merv, how are you doing? I have not seen you in quite a while. It's good to see you as well. I've been focusing more on home life and doing the streaming thing, you know, wherever I can fit it in. So not much of a schedule, but I feel free in a way. You know, I stream a little bit at a time now, not like 6 hours until 4 a.m., you know. So just trying to fit a couple hours in here and there is better than nothing. I can't stand waiting a whole week like I was doing just on weekends. Yeah, and my daughter, you know, she was sick like the entire month of April, off and on, and she's not sick anymore, but she's not sleeping very well. A lot of waking up and then coming over to, well, she goes over to wake up Granddaddy Sparkle Horse, or I'll try and catch her in the hallway. I'm like, what do you need? I need a nose blow and my blanket fixed. I'm like, well, I can do that. This is last night. So I do that. I came back out here. I wasn't streaming. And I heard her door open again. And she waited for me to go away. And she ran across the hallway and got Granddaddy Sparkle Horse up anyway and made her redo what I just did. I'm like, I tell her all day, I'm like, look, you gotta let mom sleep. And then she's been coming in the morning. This morning she woke me up because the iPad gave her a message she didn't understand. And she was patting me on the shoulder like I'm trying to wake up, because she's been getting up way earlier than she used to. So I'm not used to getting up that early. So she's up with Granddaddy while she's trying to get ready for work. And then I get up and she comes in, she's like patting me on the shoulder. She's like, I know you're not a morning person. It's okay. I was like, I just started laughing as I'm still like groggy. I was like, just give me like a minute to get out of bed and I will take a look at the iPad. But she's just standing there like patting my shoulder. It's okay. I know you're not a morning person. I'm like, yeah, you're right. She's so funny. But, you know, it is what it is. So, yeah, so I don't know. Do you have any experience with Stellaris, Mr. Murph? I do not. I needed a second game that I can jump into kind of like whenever I have time. I need to give my hands a break sometimes from the really intense Dark Souls games, because my hands, they just start to hurt after a while. I got problems with my joints and stuff, so I can't do too many repetitive things. And it's not just my hands, it's like all of my joints are not great. So this sounded interesting. Sarandon actually suggested it. I was taking suggestions on ongoing games I can play whenever I want. Cheese recommended Factorio. Brahms recommended Crusader Kings. So I just threw a bunch of stuff in my wish list, and I happened to acquire a copy of Stellaris, and I was like, let's go with that. Yeah, so it's a strategy, space strategy. I haven't looked it up. I don't know. I'm currently just looking through. I'm not actually playing the game yet. Tonight was just supposed to be, get the capture set up, try and get the game started. I had to make an account. This is totally out of my element here. I don't play stuff like this. But, you know, it should be nice and chill and relaxing. At times, I'm sure it gets a little crazy, but it seems to be rather deep. I'm sure there are deeper games, but this is a lot. So I'm just kind of reading about each faction to decide which empire I want to start with. I read through the United Nations of Earth. Now I'm in which is a representative democracy. It's kind of what we're more used to, I guess. And then you've got dictatorship and then a bunch of alien races to choose from. So I'm guessing there's like trading and exploring and just, governmental decisions, stuff like that. We'll find out. Adaptive. Habitability. Highly adaptive when it comes to foreign environments. Plus 10 on that. Nomadic. Okay, we saw nomadic and I believe adaptive with this one. Yeah. They are also wasteful. So the difference between these two is how they govern. You got one person who rules until death. And then this is every 10 years there's an election. There it is. Holds an election every 10 years. Even that's kind of a long time. You check that out on Steam. It looks neat. So far, I like the way it's laid out. It was easy to set up an account. It was just like, create an account. Okay. Boom. Pick a username. Done. They just added like a beta for co-op. I've never played with anybody like co-op or but if that's your thing, maybe once it's fleshed out, it would be kind of cool, but I pretty much just play single player kind of stuff. Prosperous unification. The myriad human nations that constitute their interstellar government are desperate yet united in purpose. These bipedal mammalians have developed a society that encourages and even thrives on individual freedoms and cultural differences. As a result, humans tend to integrate well with alien population. That's the same as the other one. Prosperous unification. Oh, that is that. I was still on that. Lost colony. Hey, no problem, Irv. I appreciate you stopping in and saying hello. It's good to see you. I will try and do the same for you if I find the time. I think when you come on, we're typically starting dinner, and then from then on, it's just insanity until my daughter's finally in bed. So, but thanks again for stopping in. It was great to see you, as usual. Anybody out there not following Mr. Merv, please do so. You will not regret it. Yeah, I forgot I clicked on United Nations of Earth. Lost Colony, the UN-sponsored Ulysses Initiative, oversaw the construction of 6 great arc ships in low Earth orbit at the end of the 21st century. The ships carrying 250,000 colonists each were sent through a recently discovered subspace phenomenon on the outer edge of the Oort cloud, a small unstable wormhole. None were heard from again, and the destabilized wormhole vanished. Ooh, that sounds interesting. Yet unbeknownst to Earth, one of the arc ships survived the passage and established a flourishing colony on a lush alien moon. The pioneers who tamed this world were determined to realize humanity's manifest destiny, dominion over the galaxy at any cost. Well, that's kind of interesting. So, what are these little blurbs down here? The civilization originated as a lost and forgotten colony. So they're talking like this entire civilization. Oh, I noticed that it's not Earth. It's a totally different world. Okay. Called Unity. Okay. The struggling colonist endured many hardships before they were able to build up the necessary technological and industrial base that would allow for a return to space. An advanced empire of this species is spawned somewhere in the galaxy. So, if you choose to be the United Nations of Earth, somewhere in the galaxy there will be a Commonwealth of Man. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah. Ads. They're annoying. I wish I could just turn them off completely. I don't think you missed much. It was just, Merv's probably like the coolest guy ever, the usual stuff. All right, good night, Merv. See you soon. Well, this is kind of cool. This is kind of cool. But I still don't like being a military dictatorship. And the word tater is in there, and I don't be no tater. Let's start taking a look at some aliens. Zin? I'm guessing like you pronounce it with like not quite a T sound, but it's like Zin. There's a little bit of a sound there it's not just a Z. I don't know. They've got 4 eyes? Back, baby. Welcome back. You just missed Merv. You completely missed Mr. Merv. You know that guy. Zinnia is the name of their... Oh, it's a desert world. It looks just like my... I had a bearded dragon who was this color. This is Sazija. It's a male. They are reptilian, obviously. Here's their insignia. Not really sure. Almost looks like a beak. Is it supposed to to represent their head? I don't know. What is this? Well, of course you gotta have some kind of eagle if you're gonna be a military dictatorship. And we just got, of course, their insignia is not gluten-free, because I'm assuming that's wheat. I don't know. I need a gluten-free logo. Wait, what's... I've got these generic... Oh, that's kind of like a symbol for their type of government. Go for the Star Trek one. What's the Star Trek one? This? This is like United Federation of Planets. Star Empire. This government is a hereditary and militaristic form of autocracy with a single sovereign controlling both the government and the military. Okay, how is that different? Militaristic autocracy with the ruler serving as the undisputed head of the military, which is firmly controlled. The state is emperor. How is that different? It's a hereditary. So what they're saying is like there's like one ruling family that just is constantly in power. Is that what it means by hereditary and militaristic? No, that's the symbol of like each empire. That's like the empire's insignia. Imperial. Upon ruler death, a designated successor becomes the new ruler. Okay. Yeah, so this is like, that's what I thought. Police state. To quash any traces of dissent, the population in this repressive society is carefully monitored and controlled by a large internal police force. Effects. Stability +5. Unity from enforcers +1. Unity from telepaths +1. Oh man, there's telepaths? Oh man. So there's like thought crime too. It's like Minority Report. I know this is like super exciting, but I got to start somewhere. So I just want to see what all these races are all about. Slaver guilds. Much of the true political power in this society rests with a number of powerful and ruthless slaver guilds. They know how to get the most out of a slave. I have to kill these guys. I'm going to try and work with everybody. If it's not my empire, what they do in their empire is their own business. I'm not out to take over the galaxy. I don't want to go all USA on them. Hi, I'm here to liberate you. Got any oil? Slave pop resource output plus 10%. Enslaved pop ratio 35%. That's yellow. Wow, I think that might be the first yellow. That might be the first yellow percentage I've seen. So that's kind of like, it's not great, but it's not the worst. 35% of the population is enslaved. Is that what that means? Slave pop resource output. Authoritarian allows stratified economy living standards. You can enslave aliens. You cannot use democratic government forms. Makes sense. Empire modifier monthly influence of plus 0.50. Worker pop resource output plus 5%. Man, once I understand how to play this game, I want to feel so smart. I want to be so smart when I know what all this stuff is. I mean, if I figure it out. Strong guiding hand is essential to the success of a civilization. I mean, this seems like a game that somebody my age should be playing. This is like a game that my daughter would look at and be like, yeah, my dad plays that. I don't know what he's talking about. I'll go play some Ninja Turtles. Oh, she played Mighty Final Fight on NES. She did so well. She got the first boss, first try. And I think she made it all the way to the second boss. And I think that's just a one-player game. And what I didn't know was Mighty Final Fight. Now, I've been tricked before, and I recognize the name of a game in another game's name, and they're not related. So when I saw Mighty Final Fight, I was like, it's probably has nothing to do with Final Fight, which is my all-time favorite beat 'em up. Final Fight on Sega CD. Absolutely amazing. But it turns out I was wrong. It is that Final Fight, and you can choose to be Cody, Guy, or Hagar. I was like, awesome. I was so excited she was playing a Final Fight game, and she's been branching out. She's been trying so many different games. And she's doing really well. She's getting good at like picking up on how to play a game without knowing anything prior to going into it. She was playing like Snow Brothers, and she's like, yeah, look, I'm on like level 8. I'm like, wow, I don't even know how to play this game. And she figured it out. So she's really, I'm really glad that I decided to grab that NES and mod it and just give her all those games that, I mean, she has more games at her fingertips than I could have ever dreamed or even available when I was a kid. So she's growing up in that regard. She's growing up at a pretty cool time. And once in a while, she'll want me to play. But she's been doing puzzle games with Granddaddy Sparkle Horse, because Granddaddy's not really a fighter. She likes puzzle games like Dr. Mario and Tetris and stuff like that. She will play Bubble Bobble too. That's like the most violent she'll get. But she does play Turtles with her. It's not really her style. She has a cool dad. Wow, I can't wait to meet him. He sounds really cool. A fanatic militarist can use the no retreat war doctrine. How have you been, Rav? How was your day? Heard it's the milkman. Now, how's your mom doing? Empire modifier. Oh, I skipped something. Can use the no retreat war doctrine. I'm very curious as to what that is, because I keep seeing that pop up. Empire modifier. I'm trying not to feel rushed. I do feel rushed because I'm not playing the game yet, but I want to be thorough. I don't want to rush. It's really hard. I'm really trying to put the brakes on. That's why I'm like talking about other stuff, just so I'm not like zooming through, even though I really just want to start playing the game. Calm down. I'm fine. I know. Just calm down. I'm trying. All right, focus. You watched some more Better Call Saul. Went to the mall. You couldn't find anything you wanted to buy. Well, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I honestly don't remember the last time I went to a mall. And I don't know if I ever will go to a mall again. We don't really have any close to us. We have like strip malls. We don't have like the kind of malls you go into and walk around. Mom's doing good. Okay. Mother's Day for Mexico is tomorrow, but you're celebrating on her birthday on Sunday. Awesome. I understand, Sarandon. Yeah, I didn't make any announcements or anything because I knew it was just going to be me poking around. So, yeah, I'm going to try and focus on getting this game up and running. So if I'm on tomorrow, I'll probably continue with this. And then once we get started, I'll pop over to Dark Souls 3 and start whittling that down because we're getting close. We're getting close on at least main game. But I appreciate you hanging out for as long as you did. I hope you have a nice, relaxing rest of your week. I'm excited to get started with this too. So I'm glad you suggested it. Thanks for that. All right. Where was I? Did I finish this? Ability to project force is paramount importance. The only way to preserve our way of life is to make sure everyone shares it willing. Okay, that's the same as this, right? Yeah. Zin reptilian strong. Strong like bull. Army damage plus 20%. It's funny, they don't have that, and they're a military dictatorship. You're having a tough day mentally. Yeah, I hear that. I know how that is. I wish we didn't have to deal with that kind of stuff. I'm right there with you. I'm sorry to hear it though, but I also understand. I'm sure our struggles are different, but you know, for me, it's something it's always there. It's just the intensity varies from day to day. It's never, for me personally, it's never a 0. And it's rarely a 10, maybe a 9, but yours are more important. Well, they are to you, and they should be. Worker pop resource output plus 2.50%. Members of this species possess great physical strength, making them formidable fighters on the ground. Resilient. Defense army damage plus 50%. Members of this species are physiologically resilient and will fight like enraged brood mothers to defend their worlds. Rapid breeders. All right. Population growth speed plus 10%. That's not that fast. You found out you take on people's problems, so you're trying to learn not to do that. Rav, I have brought that up before. I know I have. I told you to knock it off. And you're like, no, I'm good. It's fine. I got this. So I'm glad you realize that is not necessarily a good thing. I know it's hard. It's hard to not want to like try and help everybody with everything, but unless you're a professional, you're not really built for it. So that's good. I'm glad that you see that. I'm trying to care less about other people. And that sounds bad, but I really am. Except for chat. I'll never care less about chat. You thought about going into it professionally, but some stuff affects you too much. Yeah, I think you would have to probably get yourself. I'm guessing that people go into counseling are constantly in some type of counseling themselves, just to deal with all the other problems that they're dealing with on top of their own, I would imagine. I don't know how anybody could just, clock out after hearing all these problems from other people and just live life normally. That stuff has to be affecting them somehow. I know some people are good at like compartmentalizing things, but many counselors come from traumatic backgrounds themselves. Yeah, true. What's going on, Marcin? Good to see you in here. And I know, like, I was... and hi. Yeah. Technically, it says first time chat. At least in here. I think we've chatted over in Salsas a bit, but yeah. So, welcome in. I'm just... I don't know anything about this game. I just decided I needed a backup game and something to give me relief from Souls games and retro games. So I'm poking around in here. So now you're in a logical death type plate. I mean, yeah, I mean, sure. But you're safe. Don't worry about that. It's safe here. So what have you been up to, Morstein? I know you are also a musician, right? It looks complicated right off the bat. Yeah. And this is just the screen where you choose your race. Yeah, I'm a guitarist at heart, but I've always had a lot of different instruments, like drums and bass, and play piano by ear and stuff like that. But I want a little mini vacation. I'm not a good drummer. I just always, when I was jamming with people, I always wanted to have the perspective of everybody. So I understood what angle they were coming from. I could maybe make some suggestions, like if we were going to write stuff. So I'm not a trained drummer, and I'm barely a trained guitarist, but I can't read music very well anymore. So yeah, even though I'm always drumming. I'm always doing table drumming always. Like I hear a clock, I'm jamming along to the clock. If I hear the dishwasher going, I'm like jamming along to the dishwasher. It's just like, it's so natural to me. I did take drum lessons and guitar lessons at the same time, but I ultimately went with guitar, and I don't know what I was thinking. I feel like I should have been a drummer. And I used to work in a machine shop, and I used to run machines, so it was perfect. There's lots of great rhythms going on. The microwave? Yeah, I do that too. Vacuum cleaner, yep. Same deal. Always did that as a kid. But for me, it's more rhythm that gets me, even though I'm not a drummer. It's just what my brain is attracted to. Especially like when two clocks are not really in sync, then it's like, gotta do like polyrhythms and stuff. I did know. I knew the rhythm was gonna get me. I was warned. There was prophecy. What was I reading here? So this is the reptilian race. You think you love that song? It's a fine song. I don't know if I would go as far as saying I love it, but it's fine. I wouldn't turn it off, but I don't know if I would turn it on, if you understand. If you can pick up what I'm putting down. Rhythm as the Dancer is one of my favorites. Not even joking. I love 90s dance kind of stuff. I'm an 80s kid, but grew up in the 90s as well. And even though I'm a metalhead, I still love 90s dance and like synth pop and stuff. I try to find the good in all music. There are some things I just don't connect with. Didn't get converted until 92. Strong. They have army damage plus 20. Worker pop resource output. Yeah, this music is certainly not something you want to listen to if you're on the sleepy side. And people fall asleep to me talking, so usually I'm just talking to myself. Rav falls asleep on me all the time. You have a solid foundation in rock, pop, dance. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of rap knowledge. unless it's like, we're talking like old school rap. And country, outlaw country, like Johnny Cash, maybe, Neil Young. Not really country, more like Americana rock kind of stuff, but I don't really do country. You're not as young as you used to be. Rav, none of us are. That's just kind of how, like, time and physics and stuff work. Not the sellout pop. Yeah. I don't know. Honestly, I probably know more about old school rap than I do about any country. And I honestly can't tell you the last time I listened to the radio. It used to be on all the time, and it's probably been like a solid 5 or more years that I'd have not had a radio on. Oh yeah, I know. There are some amazing country musicians. I met some of them. Not like up close, but just like briefly. I met some cool country people. You know country songs? Not like shredders, but Travis Tritt and some other musicians. I used to work in music in a way, so I think Garth Brooks might have been around too. Who's that? The guitarist that sings Daughters. The Cars came through. Yeah, John Mayer. John Mayer was in the building. The Cars came through. Kind of talked to them for a bit. The Hooters. So yeah, I used to work in the music, in a section of the music industry. So I got to see these people all the time. I got to chat with Bo Bice. He stopped by and we talked for a bit. He's really short. I didn't realize that, but really super nice. My logo? You mean like my stream logo? Well, it's an IC chip, and the D on top is a logic gate. You know, there's like nans and ands and ors. If you look up logic gates, there's one that looks like that D. So I was like, hey, that's perfect. I'll put it on a chip. And then like the green is just supposed to represent like the board. So it kind of worked out. Yeah, I made it like back when I was going to start streaming, like back in like 2016, 17, and just never started until like last year. You saw a film strip. Okay. With an Art Deco D. I think that's the first time that may have been suggested, but I can see that. It's funny, I had somebody that's in tech ask me, and then they're like, wait a minute, is that a logic gate? And I was like, yeah. She's like, I'm so dumb. I was like, I even work with this stuff all the time. I was like... And now typically that cutout is not there on the left on a chip. It's just like an indentation, but I wanted to make it more obvious without adding another color. I guess I could have gone with the light gray for the legs on the chip, but I just kind of left it that way. I'm not a professional graphic designer. I just made it and, you know. Ooh, that sounds good. I'm going to keep going with this. Defense Army damage plus 50%. Members of this species are physiologically resilient and will fight like enraged brood mothers to defend their warlords. Okay, I think that we read that. Rapid breeders. That's right. I remember we got to rapid breeders and Rav was like, huh? If you want to be a star, I'm your man. I don't really know. Like, I used to kind of know people, but not anybody that's really going to get anybody famous. But one of my guitar instructors is quite well known in the industry, for sure. This species reproduces at a very rapid rate, increasing population growth. decadent. Worker happiness, -10%. Slave happiness, -10%. I can't wait to actually play the game. I know this is super boring. But like I said, I just want to read it all so I can say I did, and we don't have to do it again. The species believes that whenever there is hard work that needs doing, that work is always best done by somebody else. Quarrelsome. This is kind of a cool song. It could be like an 80s montage. Unity from jobs, -10%. Sort of like by yourself, driving through the streets at night. If like Miami Vice took place in space, I think this could be used for that. While inherently distrustful, members of the species are often socially combative. Combative. I think I added a syllable in there. Combative. Okay. The Zin evolved from carnivorous, prosperous unification. The Zin evolved from carnivorous pack-hunting lizards that prowled the dunes of Zinnia. They eventually developed a highly structured, hierarchical society that emphasized order and martial prowess above all else. By the time the Zin entered the Industrial Age, a series of devastating global wars launched by a particularly ruthless warlord had already seen the establishment of a single world-spanning nation. From these humble beginnings, the illustrious and everlasting Zin Empire was born. 1.5 hours in, I haven't picked a faction yet. How complex is this game? Honestly, I have no idea. I'm sure, once you know the game, you just either make your own empire or you just pick the one you want. I'm just trying to get familiarized with everybody, like once and done. I'm not going to do this all the time. But this was none of my streams are really planned out anymore. So I was just too tired to play Dark Souls. I'm like, let's just get the intro of Stellaris out of the way. I have a feeling this is going to be like a two-parter because it's already like almost 1:30. So I'm hoping to get through like half of the empires, or I can just read faster. But I'm also, chatting. What's that, Morstein? Brain freeze? Oh, it's only 10? Yeah, I'm East Coast. It's almost 1:15 a.m. Kingdom of Yondarim. This is the second species that has two eyes on one side. It says Yirak, male. Oh, look, Argent. They're avians. It's kind of a cool symbol. I'm going to go quickly through and look at their different icons. I'm not really a big fan of that one. That one's okay. Is it like Ferengi? That one's okay. They're kind of getting lazy with the backgrounds. Just like throw a gradient on it. Interesting. What? Really? A heart? Okay. Yeah, jellyfish, I guess. Glebsig. Those are the German jellyfish. All right. Divine Empire. Government is a form of spiritualistic autocracy. Everything is shaped by the official state religion, and the ruler is worshipped as an infallible living god. Welp, definitely not going to be this one. Your people. Imperial. Upon ruler death, a designated successor becomes the new ruler. I don't know if you get to be that guy. I mean, you're choosing an empire, so I suppose that's kind of, maybe that's who you would be. You'd be the one giving the orders, so yeah? Yes? Question mark? Possibly? Capital system effects, resources from jobs plus 10%. Yeah. Perhapsically. Ruler, empire effects per skill level max. There's a lot of words. I have no idea what any of this means. I think I listened to all of the music. I hope there's more. Oh, there is. Good. I was going to say, there's no way I'm going to be able to sit here and read with no music. I would have just thrown my own on. Max influence from power projection plus 0.25. Edicts fund plus 5. Imperial governments are similar to dictatorial ones, except the throne is always inherited by a designated successor upon the ruler's death. Okay. Makes sense. No, I have never played anything online or multiplayer or subspace. Yeah, it just they had to rewind in my entire life. Yeah, pretty much. I said this earlier in my Discord. I was like, the last time I played online with anybody would have been in the 90s when I played my friend in Doom, like OG Doom, on dial-up PvP. That's it. We used to dial up and fight each other in Doom. That's it. I never was into multiplayer or online anything. I don't know. I don't really like people all that much, so I guess that has something to do with it. Imperial cult. The society has a dominant state religion where the ruler is worshipped as a living deity. Edict funds plus 100. Game came out in 98. Okay, so I would have been like a junior in high school. Wait. Yeah. I graduated high school in 99. Aristocratic elite. The society has an entrenched nobility that occupies the upper echelons of society. Okay. Capitol buildings replace some politician jobs with nobles. Can construct noble estates, buildings that add additional noble jobs, grants access to the noble chateaus, holding the governor experience gain plus 20%. You were a wee lad? Yeah. Yeah, I've got a couple years on you. Like a decade. Oh, that sounds cool. Asteroids type on teams. And, I rarely even played. Once in a while, I would go to my friend's house, and we were both Sega players, so we would do a lot of like two-player Sega games. But honestly, like watching streams is so natural to me, because even when I would go to my friend's house, I would just watch him play games, and that was fine. I liked seeing him play and progress through the games. Like I remember when he beat Cool Spot. I remember when he beat Lands of Lore. It's text only. I used to play some pretty janky controlled games like Hugo's House of Horrors. Text chat only. Not like Zork. Okay. I was going to say, that'd be kind of interesting. Like you're like typing the coordinates of each asteroid, like real-time update in chat. Trying to picture that in your mind, like where the asteroid is on a grid. Like without actually being able to see it. No, I probably did understand. I just read it exactly as you typed it out. Okay. It's full on shift line. Got it. Subspace. You know, I don't know. Let me just quickly look it up. I'm just curious. Okay. No, I don't think I've ever played this. It says 95, released in 97. Oh, it's a Virgin Interactive. Virgin Interactive. Oh, now I'm thinking Interplay. I was thinking, like, didn't they do Redneck Rampage? But I think that was Interplay. Okay. Yeah, I definitely did not play that one. All right, where are we with these guys? Authoritarian, let's see. A test program to see if you could do true multiplayer on 2.6 kilobit, and you could. It does sound like it would have been fun. I guess I just didn't really have many friends that also had computers. I had like one back then. At least for gaming. I didn't really have many computer, like PC gamer friends. Mostly consoles. And back then, consoles had limited online connectivity. You were starting to see it with like Dreamcast. Now, technically, I believe, you know, you had like Sega Channel stuff, but it's not really the same. But you had, you know, online multiplayer with Dreamcast. And that's still going too. Like if you have the will to set it up with the right gear, you can go online with your Dreamcast. I have my Dreamcast sitting right in front of me, but I don't have any plans on going online with it. Allows stratified economy living standards. Did we read this already? Yeah, we already read that. I'm not going to reread it if I already read it. Phonetic spiritualist. Yeah, it is PSO. I'm not sure if there really is anything else other than the PSO. Fanatic spiritualist can build temple buildings, cannot use full AI rights policy. Grab another sip of my drink here. Wow, it's been a while since I dropped frames. I've actually dropped frames tonight. Yeah, I stood in line, $99.99. I was at the mall. I got my Dreamcast. Didn't have one ordered. I just stood in line and I bought one, and I couldn't afford any games for it. So I played the demo disc for months. It was great. Empire modifier, monthly Unity plus 20% edicts upkeep, negative 20% edict cost. Our sciences prove that consciousness begets reality. We regard with patience the childlike efforts of those who delude themselves. It is the other way around, as they play with their blocks of hard matter. So they are avian species, conformists, governing ethics plus 30%. These people always seek consensus and are more likely to conform to the governing ethics. Natural physicists. Do you really need to put that much thought? Well, if you're taking the game seriously, I would say probably, because if you have a certain style of gameplay in mind, once you have experience with the game, I'm guessing you would probably want to create, because you can create your own from scratch. or you can just like randomize it. So I would say, I'm just going over this because I have zero experience in the game. I just want to see all this information one time, and I won't have to do this again. So you just have to think about, like, if you are into like role playing. I'm not an RPG player, so I'm probably just going to go with the United Nations of Earth. I just want to see what the other empires are, because the way I understand it is whatever I don't pick, these are the ones that I will be dealing with, throughout the galaxy. I will be encountering these species. And you can even get DLC. This is all the DLC on this side. And you can add other species and other gameplay options to make it even deeper. So I would say ultimately, yes, you would probably want to understand some of this to a degree. I'm just getting familiar with the game. So once this is over and done with, it'll just be trying to learn the game. I'm way out of my comfort zone with this, but I need to do that so I don't get stuck in a hole of like playing the same thing over and over again, like, Dark Souls. These people always seek consensus and are more likely to conform to the governing ethics. Let's see. Slow learners. Negative 10% on leader experience gain. Members of this species are slow to learn from their experiences. Prosperous unification. The proud Yondar are an old race, using their wings to soar high above the frozen peaks of Yondarim for more than 200,000 years. Likely to conform, but slow learners. Yeah, kind of like much of, the United States. Before they developed rudimentary technology and formed their first few scattered civilizations. Once this development started, things progressed more rapidly, and the Sky Clans grudgingly abandoned many of their most primitive traditions. The Yondar are highly spiritual and place great importance on religion, venerating their high kings as living gods. Okay. And the ship's kind of cool. I'm not into religion at all, so I definitely won't pick them ever. Ifrix? I have no idea. Amalgamated fleets? So, was it like Psyduck? They're mammalian, so they're duck-billed platypus aliens. Appears to be. That's Gorliv One Eye. Okay. Trade League. Government is a form of a plutocratic oligarchy where the state is made up of a myriad of free merchants, corporations, and guilds that have banded together in common commercial interest. Okay, that doesn't sound too bad. Oligarchic holds an election every 20 years to select a new ruler. 20 years is still better than not being able to choose a leader or a ruler. But 20 years is a long time. So in your lifetime, you would see, what, four or five different rulers? Now, in my lifetime, I've already seen more than that. And yeah, could be better, but it could be worse. Effective counselor skill +2. Empire effects per skill level. Counselor experience gain +5%. Edicts fund. The oligarchic governments are ruled by a small group of individuals that hold all political power. Ducking good time. Pick the faction with the wings. You don't have to even build spaceships. I don't know if it works that way. I'm going to say probably not. Although there is that homebrew NES game, Space Gulls. So it has been done. Corporate dominion. The society is dominated by a mega corporation that has completely supplanted the role of the state. Starts with the off-world trade company's technology already unlocked. Ooh. Unlocks ship type private colony ship. See, this kind of looks like the ship from the United Nations of Earth. Except the lights are different. Yeah, the lights are different. Okay. Shadow Council. Unbeknownst to its own citizens, the society is actually manipulated from behind the scenes by a secretive Shadow Council. Appearances must be kept, but the tyranny of the majority should also be guarded against. After all, what if the fools vote for the wrong candidate? Yeah. We're just trying to protect you from the fools. We wouldn't want you to accidentally elect the wrong candidate, because, there is a right one. Was that illusion of choice? Effects. Some of this music is not bad. Some of it's kind of weird. Like, I'm not sure. This seems like it should be like Castlevania with the organ. Election costs, -75%. Ruler pop resource output, +10%. Code breaking, +1. So they're a mammalian, right? They're thrifty. Trade value from jobs, +25%. It's a space organ. How is that different from a regular organ? It's like a pipe organ, but instead of air blowing out, it's a vacuum. Yeah? Trade value from jobs, +25%. Yeah, Argent's the actual key player. Yeah, it's in space. Argent's a real musician. Members of this species are instinctively economical and are always looking to make good profit, whatever corners needed cutting. Okay. Communal. Pop housing usage, -10%. Members of the species are highly communal and quite used to living in close proximity to others. Yuck. I hate close proximity. If you're going to make your own empire, wouldn't you just take like all the best stuff? Like, what would be the point of making your own if you could just make it like essentially gods that rule without being checked? I don't know.
Hello. I've been trying to reach you about your stream's extended warranty.
X? Give me a raid? I didn't even know you were streaming. What's going on? I don't know why my command is not returning the game. I'm going to have to look at my command and see what's going on. It used to tell me what the game was. What were you doing tonight?
Welcome to Costco. I love you.
Yo, resubbed 14 months. Holy cow. That's too long. Oh, you tested the 3DS? Oh, you're playing Link to the Past? Yeah. I did have that on my list. I don't know. That's a long one? That's what she said. Yeah, I don't know. I have played A Link to the Past a bit on an emu back in the day, but never really committed to finishing it. I don't know. It's on my list. It seems like one of those games, like, because I didn't have a Super Nintendo, I should probably play it. But I don't know. So I'm just doing some messing around with Stellaris here. Reading through the different empires before I choose one, just to kind of get familiar with who everybody is. So this is kind of like a very boring stream, honestly. But I figured if I'm going to be doing this, I might as well just stream it anyway. So it's all captured on record for future generations to ignore. So this will be my backup game when I either beat a game or I need a break with my hands. I can just click on things with my mouse. If I can do like daytime streams, I'll probably jump on Stellaris, save Retro and Dark Souls and stuff like that for nighttime chill. And can't wait to mute the stream. Yeah, just like Discord. I can't wait to join Discord and mute it. Get gameplay sometime in July. Argent, you seem to be very impatient. Where do you have to be? Where do you have to be so fast, so quickly? Sit back, relax. Get inspired by the music. You know? I think this is very inspiring music. Living life in the fast lane? Yeah. Let's see. There you go. That your thing should be fixed. X. Way back when I was doing Super Metroid, I said I would mod you, but I guess when I changed that, eventually it didn't keep the VIP. So I fixed that. My apologies. There you go. That's better. I was looking over. I'm like, why don't you have the fancy gem? I haven't seen you in so long, so I didn't even notice it was not there. Got so many dates to go on with real live actual human women. Wow. So much for Elden Bingo. I mean, I'm guessing that's what attracted all of them in the first place. You're like, wait a minute. You made a bingo program? Digits now. think that's how it went down. Where was I? Deviants. Was I communal? Yeah. Deviants. Oh, I was reading over here, right? I read all this? No. Did I read the ducks? Egalitarian. Any society that does not embrace equality between its members, where an individual can rise to any position with enough hard work, not only deeply unfair, but ultimately counterproductive. A spiritualist. They can build temples full A. They cannot use full AI rights. I don't know what that means. I don't know what most of this means. Empire modifier, monthly unity plus 10, edicts, upkeep. Let's see. There are those who think it behooves us to remember how tiny we are, how pointless our lives are in this vast, uncaring universe. What nonsense. Well, I mean, that sounded good to me. The only truth we can ever know is that our own existence, is that of our own existence. The universe, in all of its apparent glory, is but a dream we all happen to share. Pacifist. Really, they're pacifist. Okay. They cannot use unrestricted wars policy. They cannot engage in indiscriminate orbital bombardment. Pi modifier, size from pops, negative 15%, stability plus 5. Conflict as a means to an end is a ridiculous concept. It is by nature destructive, destroying what was to be obtained or giving room to grow that which was to be destroyed. This is very different than playing Dark Souls 3. I'm just starting to realize that. Finally took down Dragon Slayer armor. For anyone that's been watching my Dark Souls 3, I took like April off almost, and then I got stuck on a bunch of bosses and came back, and like second try I got Dragon Slayer armor, and it felt almost easy. I was like, why did I have so much trouble with this guy before? Back? All right. Bet you can dodge roll right past the jellyfish. Oh, this guy? The German jellyfish? Glebsig. It's almost 2 for me. So I'll probably like finish out this one tonight. But yeah, Dragon Slayer armor was like, it just made sense to me. I don't know what I was doing before. Probably just greed. I probably just like decided to chill. They're thrifty, they're communal, they're deviants. These people are rebellious in nature, constantly try to challenge the status quo. Well. So, X, you got everything working then? And so you already have your new interface? I forget that people still use Amazon and they can get things like the next day. So I was like, oh, I wonder when that's going to come in. But for ordering from Amazon, you probably had it like the next day. It's up and running. What do you think about it? I'm positive it was one that I looked at back in the day when I was, like trying to buy an interface. Somehow I ended up with this Audion, which I have no complaints about, except I know it wouldn't solve your problem with the whole USB thing, but that is an issue. Like I separated my headphones and I sent them out USB and converted them analog and then run them through this thing, trying to figure out what was causing my audio crackling. And it seems like, I don't know, I think it might be capture card related, at least from what I hear, because I don't hear the crackling that I hear when I'm playing through the capture. Bus power via USB is terrible. I'm not a big fan of it. I try not to use USB bus for power if I can help it. That's why I have so many of those Walmart USB power adapters. Prosperous unification once separated into a fractious society of competing trader enclaves, the Epharisians? Epharisians? I don't know. Were forced to unite under one banner in order to repel the catastrophic spread of an invasive species on their home continent, while egalitarian tenets provide the basis for Etheric society. A secret council remains in place to ensure that the individualistic tendencies of the Epharisians never again threaten to compromise the species' autonomy. Etheric spirituality. My mouth is drying out even to say these big adult words. Is an amalgamation of folklore, superstitions, and mythologies formed by the various pre-Republic communities. Wow, I'm pretty much done, I guess. And continues to inform day-to-day life on their homeworld. Cannot read a thing anymore. Can I squeeze another one out? See if we can get through the jellyfish. Or maybe I'll just fly through all these. Third Rog. These are the Glebsig Foundation. That's their logo. Holy Tribunal government is a spiritualistic form of oligarchy where a divinely guided council made up of clergy controls the state. Yeah, not liking that. No division exists between the state and the dominant organized religion. Don't like at all. Oligarchic holds an election every 20 years to select a new ruler. Empire effects. Effective counselor skill +2. Let's see. Skill level. Let's see. Oligarchic governments. We already read about that. Exalted priesthood. To guard against heresy, this society is ruled by a religious council consisting of the wisest and most pious members of the clergy. Okay. Enjoy your reboot. Capitol buildings replace some politician jobs with high priests. Unity from priests +1. Efficient bureaucracy. The society is renowned for its efficiency. Not only do the MOG trains run on time, but the colossal bureaucratic apparatus required to run an interstellar nation has been greatly streamlined. Effects. Bureaucrats and priests provide edicts fund scaling with their Unity production. Administrator upkeep -20%. Fanatic xenophile. Increased opinion for other species. Cannot use no refugees. Cannot enslave species and cannot displace aliens. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, if they're going to follow their actual beliefs, that makes sense. Some people, I think, may claim to be part of a holy tribunal, but they don't really, they don't walk the walk and talk the talk. So I guess, I mean, as long as they're following that, that's fine. It's not anything I'm interested in, but, you know, it's good that they can't enslave species or displace aliens. Empire modifier, trade value +20, available envoy +2, external leader pool size +2. I don't think I've seen that before. Some of this stuff is new. If there ever was such a thing as an absolute moral imperative, it would be to explore the cosmos and embrace all within it. We were never meant to journey alone. And then spiritualist, I believe we have read before. Sedentary. So they have -15% from immigration and plus 25% resettlement. Species has a sedentary past, and its members are reluctant to migrate away from where they grew up. Salsa, what's going on? How are you doing? I am trying to get a new game up and going, so just reading up on all these different empires before I get started. This is going to be my backup game for when I beat a game or I need a break. My hands need a break from playing Dark Souls. You know, for a second there, it says having a meh day. I thought it said meth day. You know, just one of those days. Just had to hit the meth. We've all been there. Enduring. Chilling and having a meh day is not necessarily bad. Sometimes I would welcome a meh day. Today was actually slightly better than a meh day for me. It was not totally amazing, but it's definitely been worse lately. So I'll take it. And X is back. Everybody's back. Yeah, it's nice to see in here, Salsa. I know I haven't streamed like the last 2 nights. I just not getting very much sleep. So that's kind of why I'm not doing Souls tonight. I just needed to do something. I don't want to just disappear again, because when I don't stream, it's really hard to come back. So I was just like, just try and get Stellaris up and running. It's better than nothing. Everybody's back. So, did you make any more progress with your Star Wars? Because you know, I usually have to dip out because of time zones and stuff. How did the rest of Star Wars go? Enduring, leader lifespan plus 20 years. They have an unusually long lifespan. Conservationist. So we got a negative 10% on goods upkeep. So Random pointed out that green is good, even though it's a negative. That's a good thing, which makes sense. Oh, new ability and more main story. Cool. I have not seen enough of the game to really understand what's going on. I think I saw more of Fallen Order because Happy Hob was no-hitting that at some point, but I honestly wasn't really watching him all that much when he was doing that because, you know, Star Wars, I'm totally lost when it comes to Star Wars anything except for Lego. Lego Star Wars, played through the whole complete saga and it was awesome. That's where my knowledge of Star Wars comes from. They believe that resources must be conserved and recycled. Makes sense. Have you ever seen or played Stellaris, Salsa? I'm not sure what to expect. I don't know anything about it. I'm totally blind on this. I'm just going in based on a recommendation. The Resilient, plus 50% army damage. Nice. And we'll fight like enraged broodmother. Okay. Prosperous unification. Ever since the first Gleb Sigi lifted their sight organs above the surface of the glacial lakes on Ladna to peek at the stars, these inquisitive molluscoids have felt an affinity for the unknown. Much as their early ancestors, tentacles grasped and stroked after new objects on the chill alpine lake beds of their homeworld. Burgeoning Gleb-Sigan society reached for technological innovation and spiritual enlightenment throughout the centuries that followed. A sedentary and enduring species, the Gleb-Sigi have perhaps by necessity developed a complex yet highly effective bureaucratic apparatus for dealing with the intricacies of managing a globally unified society. Additionally, their lack of natural predators on Ladna has led the Glib Siggy to exist in a state of permanently optimistic curiosity regarding other life forms, having established a firm societal foundation on Ladna using a mixture of spiritual doctrine and careful organization. The Glib Siggy now once more raise their sight organs to what lies beyond. Everybody, raise your sight organs. Meow. Well, I enjoy watching the games, even though I don't really know much about, but I can't pretend like I understand the story. It's just like, okay, I understand the structure of the puzzles and stuff. You know, like if I strip off the whole Star Wars facade, the game is, you know, enjoyable, but I couldn't really get into the story that much. But that's normal for me. I don't really do stories, you know? I don't really do stories. It's already almost 2 o'clock. I've got like 4 other species to read through. Elective monarchy. Enlightened autocracy, where a strong emphasis is put on knowledge and qualifications. Election upon ruler death. Okay. Can we just quickly go through the last of these? Environmentalist, philosopher king. It's not enough to simply rule. The ship of state must be guided by a king that wields enough wisdom and knowledge to steer it true. Can't get enough of that wisdom. Authoritarian, we've read. Fanatic pacifist. I thought we've read that already. No? And these are the Jahetma Dominion. Defensive wars only policy. Cannot engage in indiscriminate orbital bombardment. Civilized beings, the end of all armed conflict should be our primary concern. War is evolutionary dead end, as futile as it is wasteful. So there you go. Who is this? This is Haragma. They are a fungoid. Ah, they're a fungoid. Jahetma at Tanagra. When the walls fell. Slow breeders, -10%. So they reproduce at a slow rate, lowering population growth. Makes sense. Ingenious. They're good at thinking outside the box, know how to maximize efficiency of their infrastructure and power grids. Communal. Okay. And they're strong. And prosperous unification. An individual among the Jahetma is actually a large colony of fungi that has developed sapience. Makes sense. Some of these colonies, generally those that have lived for thousands of years, stretch across several miles and rarely leave the surface of Jahet Prime. Their homeworld. There we go. I haven't really been looking at their worlds. So that was a desert. This is an alpine world. A tundra. Alpine again. And now we're in a tundra. A few ships are large enough to transport them. A few ships are large enough to transport them. Yeah, it makes sense to... Younger colonies, I think like the largest organisms or whatever you want to call it on Earth are like fungus networks. They go for miles. Younger colonies are not only smaller, but also tend to be more dynamic and mobile, often spearhead the exploration and research efforts of the Gehetma, as well as any defensive measures that are regrettably undertaken when the Dominion is beset by aggressors. Got it? All right, let's try and bang the rest of these out. Skuldari Confederacy, Theocratic Republic. What did I look at? They were elected monarchy. Okay. Dictatorial. Ocean World. Interesting looking creatures. They are mammalian. That's Dakum. Theocratic Republic. Government is a spiritualistic form of democracy where religious council supervises the democratic process and serves in an advisory role. Okay. Democratic, every 10 years. Environmentalist, free haven. Well-earned reputation as a free haven. Tired the poor, huddled masses yearning to breathe free, all welcome here, regardless of their species or origin. Well, that's cool. They're spiritualists, they're pacifists, and they're xenophiles. We've read that in the other ones. We're not going to go over that again. Charismatic. Amenities from jobs plus 20 members of the species have special charisma and are generally considered pleasant to be around. They kind of look like a sloth bat. Natural sociologist. From jobs, plus 15%. Members of the species have a natural inclination toward sociology and biological studies, but they are weak. Oh, they're weak, of course. Spiritually strong, but physically weak. Army damage, negative 20%. Worker pop resource output, negative 2.50%. Members of the species are physically weaker than average, making them poor fighters on the ground. On the ground. Maybe they're really good at ship combat. I don't know. The Skildari are aquatic mammalians originating from the archipelagos and deep oceans of Skildaria. Although their early civilizations were mostly confined to the sea, they soon expanded onto what little landmass the planet had to offer. Their society adapted accordingly, building an advanced industry that exploited the riches of the ocean floor without harming Skildaria's delicate ecosystem. Skildari philosophy is one of balance and moderation in all things, a lesson learned from having to nurse their limited resources when they were confined to the bottom of the sea. That's so weird. I did not expect them to be ocean dwellers. Okay. Kel Azan Republic. They are arthropoid. Got the crescent moon looking thing with the twin blades. Citizen stratocracy. That's a new one. Advanced form of militaristic oligarchy where military has subsumed all aspects of civilian administration. All government offices are held by military officers. Ugh. Oligarchy. Warrior culture. Hardy warrior culture. Martial prowess is valued above all else, and true glory can only be found on the field of battle. So these are the Klingons. Let's see. Entertainer jobs replaced with duelist jobs. Duelists turn alloys into unity, amenities, and naval capacity. Army damage plus 20%. Citizen service. Are you doing your part? Full citizenship and the political responsibilities that comes with it, limited to those who have served tour of duty in the military. Service guarantees citizenship. Grants access to the recruitment office holding naval capacity plus 15%. Unity from soldiers plus 2. Egalitarian we read. Fanatic middle. Did we read that? Yes, we did. Okay, so we're not going to read that. Very strong. Possess a strength that almost defies the laws of physics. Whoa. Traditional. certain aspects of the species' cognition makes it predisposed to especially value historical precedents and group unity. Deviance, the rebellious in nature, constantly trying to challenge the status quo, and solitary. Solitary and territorial, often becoming agitated in crowded conditions. Understood. Prosperous unification. The Kel-Azan have developed a complex honor code and martial culture. They were once solitary predators preying on the great herds migrating between the watering holes of Azak. They live in a savanna world. Over time, bands of Kel-Azan began to gather to be able to take down larger prey. They eventually abandoned this solitary lifestyle in favor of cities and irrigated agriculture, but their martial traditions were never forgotten. Never forget. All right, we got one more. The Blorg. They're another fungoid. It's kind of, I don't know. I kind of feel like they started just hitting some kind of randomizer to make this. Like, this is a military junta. They're oligarchic, and their insignia is a golden heart with a red racing stripe. Like, I don't know. I feel like this is kind of silly. Military junta, militaristic form of oligarchy where power rests with a council of high-ranking military officers who oversee all matters of state. We've read that. Distinguished admiralty. Did we read that? Yes, we did. Fanatic xenophobe, I think we read before. Oh, and this says fanatic xenophile. Increased opinion, cannot use no refugees, cannot enslave, and cannot displace. Plus 20 trader, plus 2 available envoy, and plus 2 leader pool size. If there ever was such a thing as an absolute moral imperative, it would be to explore the cosmos and embrace all within it. We were never meant to journey alone. Yeah, I think we read that before. Militarist. They're a fanatic militarist. This is just a regular militarist. They can use the no retreat war doctrine. Negative 10%. Ship fire rate plus 10%. The negative 10% was on the claim influence cost, whatever that is. Only 2 virtues of courage and discipline. And channeled properly, they can overcome any obstacle. Therein lies true strength. Force withheld, a promise made. In the distant past, the Blorg. The repugnant. Physical appearance and customs of species are considered offensive to most others, and a few appreciate them as neighbors. They're solitary, venerable, can grow to an age that commands dignity and respect. Lifespan plus 80 years. And they're nomadic. We've read about that too. In distant past, the Blorg lived alone and nameless in the jungles of Blorg Prime. Okay, they're in a tropical world. One day, they picked up radio transmissions from a star far away. What they heard shocked them. The sounds of friends, movies, culture, and music, things the Blorg had done without for eons. Finally understanding what they had been missing all along, the Blorg took their names from these transmissions and went out into the stars in search of friends, hoping one day to find the source of these messages so that they might party together. Okay. I don't know. The Blorg seem kind of cool, except for the whole, military. 20 years to select a new ruler. But I like their whole purpose was to party. All right, so we made it through very quickly toward the end, but we're probably going to go. We're just going to stick with the United Nations of Earth and go from there. But I don't think I want to click on that right now, because I don't know what's going to happen if I select it. Let's just see what happens. The game is not eligible for achievements. You're not eligible for achievements. I don't know what all this stuff is. Yeah, this is gonna have to wait. So at least I got through all that stuff. But that's gonna have to wait. Faux show. So I'm glad I got through all that, but so we'll have to start. We'll start the actual game tomorrow then. Well, if I don't really know when I'm streaming. Possibly tomorrow. Actually start a game. But that's going to be it. Quit and return. Yeah. Just going to exit that. Going to do this. Gonna roll credits. This is a game. Everything's a game. Like the game of life. So thanks to X for the raid tonight. And of course for the resub. Very much appreciated as always. Yeah, this was not a very well planned out stream. I didn't know what to expect, so we got through all that nonsense. So tomorrow, or next stream I should say, we'll be setting up the actual game and start playing it. So it's probably going to be a lot of tutorial stuff. And I do plan on getting back to Dark Souls at some point, but I at least want to get the game going and set up so that when I come back to it, I can actually play the game, not have to just go through the whole intro thing. Like I wasn't able to save anything because I didn't actually choose anything. So, and it's already after 2 here, so I'm gonna just cut it now. Not doing any raids. I don't see anybody. I'm not gonna be like hanging out anywhere. But, oh yeah, thanks for hanging out. I know it wasn't very exciting, but I think it's going to be fun to do something new. It's kind of like when I started Fallout. It's completely out of my element. It was fun, not really my thing. Let's try a new one, a new strategy. I like space. So maybe that will draw me in because it's in space. I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to head out and I'll see you all around somewhere, whether it's here or some other channel. And thanks to lurkers and of course everyone that was hanging out and chatting tonight and dealing with this boring stuff. It should be it'll get more exciting once we actually start playing the game, I hope. But yeah, I'm heading out. Have a great rest of your week, and see ya soon.